Hello, and welcome to the Vintage Reel Service Guides. This video covers cleaning and lubricating rules after they've been disassembled. Cleaning and lubricating are fairly generic procedures, so the process outlined here can be applied to most mid-century American reels. This reel has already been serviced, so it's clean and lubricated. But here are some images of the gears before cleaning. Generally, the gears and inside of the case will have some accumulation of old grease, which hardens, prevents parts from moving, and no longer serves the purpose of lubricating the gears. There may also be grit, sand, and salt accumulation. First, we clean, then we apply fresh grease and oil. Let's talk a little about tools and materials. You'll need the following basic materials: some kind of solvent, here we're using paint thinner, some kind of detergent like this blue liquid, oil specifically made for fishing reels, and grease, again specifically made for fishing reels. You'll also need the following basic tools: a small pan for washing the parts in solvent, a small brush for brushing the solvent into gears in small spaces, a dental pick or similar shaped instrument, tweezers for pulling small parts out of the bath, Q-tips, shop rags, of course. Old washcloths and socks are absorbent and work well, a screen for the sink drain so you won't lose small parts, and finally, you'll need a plastic dish pan, something a little bit deeper than this, for the detergent bath. The cleaning process is basically 1, 2, 3. First, a bath in solvent to dissolve the grease, then a bath in detergent and water to remove any remaining grease along with the solvent, then a thorough drying. First, place all the small parts in a small pan, then add a little solvent. Here, we're using paint thinner. A 1/4 inch on the bottom of the pan is plenty. Don't use too much. Using a small paintbrush, work the solvent into the gear teeth. It may be necessary to let the parts soak for an hour or overnight. If so, cover them to prevent evaporation. Use the dental pick or similar tool to clean between the gear's teeth. Also, brush solvent into the inside of the case and around parts like the eccentric gear. Use Q-tips to get solvent into tight spots inside the housing. After all the old grease is dissolved, or at least softened, take the small parts out and place them on a shop rag to drain for a minute or two. Next, place all the parts into a plastic dish pan and add a squirt of detergent. Then add an inch or two of very hot water to the pan. If you're working in a utility sink, make sure to place a screen in the drain to avoid accidentally losing small parts. Brush the parts to remove the softened grease and grit, then rinse them in very hot water. An old colander works well for this. Then, again, lay the parts on a shop rag, this time to let them dry thoroughly. A fan will help speed this process, and it may take an hour or two for them to be really dry. After the parts are all dry, we can lubricate them. Again, you want to use lubricants that are specifically recommended for fishing reels. The basic principles of lubricating a reel are simple. Number 1, don't use too much. A little coating of the surface is enough. More will just attract sand and salt. Gears get grease like this. Again, you want to use a grease specifically for fishing reels. So, apply just a little bit to the gear teeth and brush the grease into the teeth. Brush grease on both sides of the gear. Here you can see the ratchet on the back of the main gear that engages with the anti-reverse. Everything else gets a drop or two of oil. This includes all screws, makes it easier to take them in and out, all of the edges where plates fit together, and all of the points where rotation occurs, like the base of the handle. So we put a few drops here and here on the eccentric lever, and again a little bit into the holes where the screws go into the housing, and then take the brush and brush it in good, spread it around, and wipe off any excess with your shop rag. The package insert or schematic that came with the reel will usually have instructions on all the important lubrication points, and these documents can usually be located in one of the archives on the web like Orca. See the website for more information. If you can't locate the schematic, just follow these general rules and you'll be okay. Now that everything's clean and lubricated, we can reassemble and test the reel.